Well, one of my favorite fruits during the summer is definitely cantaloupe. It's really sweet and definitely refreshing to eat during the summer. So what about yours?
I prefer watermelon more because it has more water and more juicy. And sometimes when I feel lazy to eat fruits, my mom often makes some smoothie for me from like bananas, strawberries, and all the kind of fruit.
That sounds cool. Well, this afternoon I just had my first Korean lesson and it was pretty successful. I think between Korean and Chinese, Korean is definitely a lot easier because for one thing, I feel like the language is more logic than Chinese. Because in Chinese, if you don't know the word or if you have never seen it before, then of course you can never read it unless you see the pinyin. But for Korean, it's similar to Vietnamese. So you learn the alphabet, and then even if the word that you don't really understand, you can still read it normally. So I think that is a plus point in Korean. So the language is more logic. And because it's only my first lesson, we only learn about the alphabet, how to pronounce it, and the different rules in pronunciation and the writing technique.
Yeah, I remember that like when I decided to learn a second language. So firstly, I decided to learn Korean, but after that, I cannot like be patient with that. So give it up, and after that mom told me to learn Chinese. So firstly, when I learned Chinese, I just like learn for fun, not so concentrating that. But after that, when like I decided to watch some Chinese drama or maybe like some kind of game show, Chinese game show, so I find that some kind of game show do not have like Vietnamese or maybe English subtitle. So at that time, I decided to learn Chinese to understand all of these. And at that time, I learned it more. I pay more attention to that.
Well, yeah, sadly, because in my school, each of the class will be learning 2 languages. And because we majored in English, which means we have to learn another language. And our second language is actually Japanese. At first I thought it's Korean, and that's why I signed up for the class. But it's Japanese, so I'm guessing that I'll just learn Korean for now, and when I actually go and participate in the class, I will be learning it until later. It's only a second language, so it's not really important. But I think Korean is nice, and I'm really determined to get good at it, especially in the pronunciation. I feel like pronunciation is not as hard as Chinese, because in Chinese, they have many, I would say, it's not really intonation, but I would say like high tone and soft tone and low tone, right? So what is it called? I can't find the word to describe it. But in Korean, you don't really have that much. You only have high tone and low tone. So it depends on the tone of the word and the alphabet, which I find kind of easy to pronounce, even though my accent is not that good because it's only the first lesson. My accent is like a mix of English and Chinese because, yeah, I learned Chinese, so that's why it is a bit similar to the language. But because in Korean, they don't really stress too much on words, so the more relaxed you are, then the better your pronunciation will be.
Yeah, I remember that like maybe when I went to secondary school, mom watched a lot of Korean movies, Korean drama. And I think after you learned, you can like watch all of these, no need to subtitle.
Well, I think what I'm really looking forward to it is be able to jap in Korean, because that's the best thing ever when you're able to just talk in a language that maybe others don't really know, like English. But yeah, nowadays literally everyone knows English already, so I think it's good if you know a second language, like especially if you want to get really good at it. So I'm really determined to get good at Korean because I feel like it's probably one of the most logical languages I've ever found. Like in Vietnamese, right, you learn the alphabet and you try to combine the vowels and the the vowels and the consonant to make it into a word. So similarly, in Korean, it's the same. There's also vowels and consonants, and you combine them to read it into a word. So even if you really don't understand, you can still read it, but you have to have correct pronunciation. So I think it's pretty logical, like Vietnamese.
Yeah, and I think like just Korean have that. The other language, maybe like some Latin language, for example, like English or maybe French. We can like easily read that because it have the ABC alphabet. But sometimes we don't know the meaning, but we can still.
Well, I don't know about like French, but I don't know about English. Like sometimes maybe I don't really know how to read it, except for some really academic words. But like overall, I still think that our language, Vietnamese, is probably the most logical language in the world.
Mm-hmm. If I have more time and if I like to learn like a third language, so maybe I will learn a Latin language, because for me learning Chinese is enough. Yeah,
definitely. Well, now I am not good at Chinese. I think I know the basics. I know the meaning. I can read it, even though my pronunciation is not great. But I think my speaking skill is not great either. I still don't know enough vocabulary or grammar to practice. But I think like in the future, probably I have to learn Japanese at school. So I'll be learning 3 languages that uses the same kind of writing.
Yeah, but now I will focus on like practicing more English and more Chinese to upgrade my level.
Definitely. Well, I think my goals for summer is I really want to get better at Korean. Like, how can I get better? I haven't learned anything yet, just the basics. But I think I will, because I learn with a teacher and we learn with each other every day. So I think it's gonna be, I'm going to improve faster and learning by myself.